So I had a really interesting conversation with somebody at the weekend about veganism. And basically, to cut a long story short, she was saying that she felt that animal training as a whole wasn't vegan. I'm not a vegan, so that's okay, but it was just a really interesting concept. Because she said that the benefit of animal training is for us, it's not for the animal. And that another guy came on and he said that until we could find a way of saying, of exploring and really knowing whether or not the animals are choosing to do that specific training and wanting to and enjoying it, then we shouldn't do it, we shouldn't train them. We shouldn't ride horses, we shouldn't use guide dogs, we shouldn't use animals in any capacity unless it's for the gain of the animal. Not saying who's wrong or right, but I just thought it was a really interesting concept to explore. So I thought I'd have a little look at how animals do say yes to training. Not just dogs, but other animals as well. So I'm going to try and use chickens, and if the cat shows up, then cats, pony, so that we can have a little idea as to what clues that we've got as trainers and what changes we could make to the environment to help animals have a choice and to be certain that the animals that we're training are training because they want to. First off, predictable environments. You'll probably notice that in nearly all my chicken training videos we're using this. This is a table. It's their training table. I train them on the same table every single time. So they know when they come out of the coop that the training is going to partake on this table. Now I don't pick the animals up to put them on here. I don't do anything. When they're on here, they're up for training. That's how I see it. I see jumping up onto this table as a way of the animals saying, I'm up for it, let's do it. If they come out and they peck around, and there's lots of other environmental enrichment here and lots of other things that are really stimulating for chickens. So there's wood chipping for them to scratch, and there's insects and there's veg and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not taking away any other stimulation and making it so that the only interesting thing to do in this space is to train. But if they do want to train, they can. So these are rescue chickens. They're ex-battery chickens, and they don't. There's no point. At no point do they have to train. I don't ever pressurise them to do it. I don't ever make it happen. I simply provide an environment for them, and then allow them into that environment, and I make that predictable. So to start with, one concept which I think is useful in this idea as to whether or not the animal says yes, I want to train, is predictability of the training environment. So with chickens we have a table, with the cat and with the dogs and with the ponies we have a mat. We also have equipment that stays the same. I use the clicker. They know the noise of the clicker. You know, I behave in a certain way, which is also predictable. All these things are things that make it predictable for the animal as to whether or not training is going to take place. They can then choose to either participate or not to, and it's fine. Either is fine. The second thing that I want to look at very quickly in this bit of the video, and I want you to watch, is the attitude of the animal. So as soon as I've got the clicker out, and this, you can see, I don't know if you can see from here, but I've got two hens, both those hens are pacing the wall to try and get out. They want to come in here. They've seen me, they've seen the clicker, and they want to do it. So what we're looking at here is we're looking at the attitude of the animal and whether or not they want to train. So I would say that this animal wants to train. I would say her vocalisations, where she's looking, what she's doing, it is all forward moving. She's moving forward. All of her weight's on the front of her feet. She's choosing to jump up on the table and to follow the treats. She wants to participate. I would say all of her language insinuates that she wants to participate. The way that she's moving her body, her vocalisations, the eye contact, the fact that she keeps jumping on the table, she's looking for what I want her to do. So all this hen's body language is body language of an animal that's excited and that's actively participating through choice. There's lots of exciting things going on around over there, but she's choosing to train with me rather than to go and scrape on the floor over there, or go and find her friend, or go and find insects. Hey Mills. And Millie also knows the sound of the clicker, and Millie also wants to participate in this training, although she it's not her turn. And again, no special training has gone on between this chicken and this cat. Another thing to look at is the attitude of the animal towards the trainer, particularly when training has been consistent and predictable for the animal. You see how both these hens are following me around in an animated and quite excited way, and both of them want to jump up onto the table. So is training these hens a benefit to me? Well, yeah, it is. It means I end up with chickens that can show off and do tricks, and you know, I run chicken training workshops, which earns me money. But is it also to the benefit of the animal? Yeah. Look how friendly these guys are. Look how good they are at being pet chickens. They've got all the traits, they've got all the adaptive qualities in terms of tameness, in terms of, you know, wanting to be where I am. Are they happy? Yeah. These chickens are excited. Listen to their vocalisations. Do they have food? Yes, they've got free food and water all the time. So do they need to earn this food? Nope. Never starve an animal to train. There's other problems going on if you're having to do that. The motivation to train, particularly when the environment is consistent and predictable, should be there. Training itself should cause the animals to get quite excited. You shouldn't have to starve them or stop their environmental enrichment elsewhere. So again, he's opting in. We're going to go down to the same place that we always train. And we'll see again vocalisations and following his trainer. Good boy. Now, another thing that I want to talk about is when we're not actively training, often when animals really want to train, they offer behaviours. So he's saying, what do you want me to do? Good boy. Good boy. And again, he's not starved. He gets food twice a day, every day, as well as continual access to hay, and he gets grazed. And he comes in here and has some fun. But what I'm looking for here is, again, he's actively choosing to partake in behaviours that have earned him rewards in the past. Now, this is a big sign. This is what happens when dogs come and sit and look at you. And what happens when they start doing stuff that you've done in other training sessions before. This kind of repetition, giving a paw, he's doing a bow. This kind of repetition of behaviours that have earned him treats in the past is key in seeing whether or not the animal's opting in. You can see in his body language that he's moving forward. He's choosing to be wherever I am. If I move, he moves. He can go and do whatever he wants. There's nothing that says this pony has to train. He's choosing to do it because he's enjoying it, because he likes to do it. There are key factors in this. Good boy. There are key factors in this that I want you to bear in mind, which is the value of food. So, just like with the chickens, I'm feeding him what he gets every morning and every evening anyway. The value of this food is not particularly high. I'm not using, you know, other nuts that he doesn't normally get. Sometimes you do that in training when you want to increase motivation. I'd never starve an animal of their food, obviously. I'd never not give them their breakfast because they're going to go training. They get their food anyway, but I'd also never use rewards that are too high, because I think that this compromises the animal's ability to choose whether or not they want to train or not.
So we're just using really moderate, okay food that's not too exciting for Woody, but he's still choosing to do it. And often when I come down here without any food, he will choose to train because I honestly think he enjoys training. So predictable context, we always train down here. Predictable equipment, we always use the same kind of equipment when we're doing stuff. And in addition to that, I call him first. So I call Woody, and he comes running, and then he follows me all the way down here. Again, as you saw when I was walking down, really excited. All of his movements are moving forward, choosing to be with me. All of his behaviour is offering stuff because he enjoys the training. The food isn't compromising him. It's not too exciting. It's not too amazing. He's not skinny. He's got access to lots of other things going on in the environment, so he doesn't have to train. I can't help but think these things are key in checking that our horses and that our chickens and that our dogs and our cats and everything else that we're training are choosing to say yes. We can be even clearer with dogs. We can be super clear. We can use the same environment. You'll see there's a mat on the floor, and this is where I started doing the dog yoga stuff with Ella. And whenever she's on this mat, she trains. And when she leaves this mat, there's water over there. She can go outside. There's a whole outside environment, and she can choose not to train. If we look at Ella's body language and her facial expressions, she's wagging her tail. She's also very alert about the environment. She's excited. She's focused on me. She's looking at my body cues and what I'm doing. Again, you'll find that she'll probably follow me. The more I go around, she goes around too, because she wants to practice. As soon as I go near the mat, she starts participating in behaviours that she thinks are the behaviours that I might want for training. Whilst there is obvious benefit to me training her, and there's obvious benefit because it's what I do for a living as well, the benefits for her are also so substantial, not just mentally, not just because then she can have a bond with the person who looks after her, and with humans that arguably these domestic animals have to evolve in order to make connections with us so that they can thrive as a species that does live off us to all intents and purposes, because we control most access to resource in the world, or certainly the Western world as it is. But there are other benefits as well. So for example, practicing kind of yoga behaviours, crossing paws, doing the kind of stuff that she's doing at the moment, the benefits for her there are health benefits, there's body consciousness, there's body awareness, there's loads of learning to stretch without overstretching, because we don't do it manually, post-operatively. It gives mental and physical stimulation. There's countless other gains for the animal when we're training them, and that goes to the horse, to the cat, to the chickens, to all the other animals as well. So there are benefits to them, but at large, the most important point I wanted to make today was about this whole thing about saying yes. At the moment, Ella is choosing to go on the mat that predictably is the mat that we train on every single time. She's offering behaviours to me. I'm not telling her to do them. She's offering up these stretches and stuff that we're looking at the moment. The food that she's getting is no different. If anything, actually, it's less desirable than the food that she gets for her dinner. And there's lots of other options, lots of other things. Through that door out there, she can go outside to where the horse was training a minute ago. She can go and play about. She's got her brother Archie up there. She's got Millie. She's got so much other stuff that she can do, but she's kind of being here. And all her body language is excited. It's joyful. And this isn't a dog that I'm training just for my gain, even if I do have gains from it. This is a dog that is partaking in behaviours because they are saying yes. It is predictable. and they are predictably, frequently and intensely choosing to come into this environment to participate in these behaviours. And they're doing so with a disposition that is joyful and is excited and is good girl, and is indicative of an animal that is happy and is joyful. So do our animals say yes? I think so. What do you think, Ella? What do you think, Missy? What do you think, Ella Bella?